Hello, this is Northwest Prepper. I've made videos for a long time. I just really haven't felt the need, and I thought I would start making videos again. Now, this video is going to be about why the average small town American should open carry. Now, a lot of people don't want to open carry. Okay, they're nervous about showing they have a firearm, or they're afraid that some far leftist is going to be like, well, why do you need a gun? Blah, 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 blah. Well, to me, it's not about needing the gun. It's about, A, using your Second Amendment rights. Most states have constitutional carry. Not all, the majority. Which means you can openly carry in most places, unless there's a sign that says you cannot open carry. And that sign needs to be exposed to the public. It cannot be hidden behind bushes. It can't be hidden behind boxes. It has to literally be visible. Okay? That is up to the business owner to decide. Okay? Now, for me, one of the main reasons I want to carry open is not because I want to look badass. It's because I want bad guys to know that I have the potential to defend myself or others. Now, if you look at the majority of people who have done mass shootings, the majority of the shootings, not all, the ones that are not gangland related, which everyone knows that the majority of shootings happen in like 5 major cities in the U.S. If you took them out, then we would be like in the 118th bracket somewhere, 120th in the world for shootings, right? So I'm just talking about like normal small towns, because we know if you go to a large city and you open carry, someone's going to freak out and they call the cops, and the cops are going to show up and have a talk with them, and the cops and run your ID. Maybe you'll get a cocky cop that's younger that thinks you're not allowed to open carry, and then you might get arrested or detained, and then it's not worth it in these big cities. But if you live in a small town, and when you open carry, you generally more people in small towns will open carry than large cities, because it's a smaller town, right? But as a person that only open carries, I can conceal carry. I prefer to open carry. I have had people thank me for open carrying because they know it is a deterrent to people who might choose to do bad things. Now, let's look at a secondary aspect. As a person that open carries, I do have a pepper spray, a nasty pepper spray that does the job. But in Washington State, where I live, where the majority of people are very left, where in the state of Washington they don't want you to defend yourself, they want to defend a criminal. Outside of the big city, it's not so much so. But like here, in my opinion, if I use the first level, which would be like pepper spray, and then if that didn't work, then I would resort to my firearm in defense of myself or someone else. But that's my own opinion. I'm not a lawyer. But, I mean, if you open carry in a small town, and constitutional carry, and you look uncomfortable with your weapon, people will be uncomfortable with you. If you look like your weapon is part of your skin and it belongs on you, generally more people are more comfortable with you there, because whether you haven't had the training or not, or you haven't had enough training, perception with how you act and how you carry, not flashing your firearm around, not doing stupid stuff, but having it there and available, is important. With the increase of migrants being bussed all over the country, gang members, we don't even know. I mean, if you look at the border, the southern border, it's stripped. It's strewn uh, with ID cards and passports from countries, because when they came in the country, they didn't want to have identifiable ID in case it would confirm they were a criminal. Now, I mean, if I was a criminal and coming across the border, I would ditch my ID too. But look at some of these people that have been convicted and spent time in U.S. prisons and sent back to their countries, Mexico, Central America, wherever, it doesn't matter. And they come back, right? And this all comes down to the fact that people from these countries, they respect people with guns. Let's be real. Okay? They respect people with guns. They're less likely to assault you. They're less likely to rob you if you have a firearm. They're less likely to rob someone else around you, if that, because they understand in their country, when they see people walking around with firearms, they understand that it's most likely going to end badly if they do stupid stuff. No. And part of carrying a firearm isn't the intimidation factor, it's the knowledge that you have the ability to defend yourself or others that makes the difference. If a person has like mental problems or they're suicidal, they may do something to get the cops there and have an incident with suicide by cop. It's not uncommon. But that's a whole other ball of wax. But the thing is being open carry, it's important to show that you have that constitutional right, because many people don't know they can open carry. Some people don't know that they don't have to have a special permit to open carry. And when you open carry, many a time I have educated people about the open carry concept, and they're like, I didn't know that. And it's like, well, yeah, you can do this and this and that. You know what I mean? But the thing is when you open carry, you also have to understand people are going to ask you some hard questions sometimes. And they are, I'll call them California liberals that have moved up here up the West Coast. And they are vehemently against any firearms. But they want the cops to have firearms. If they show up. I think in Seattle it's 45 minutes to an hour for the cops to show up at your house. And they tell you, just open your door and let them take whatever you want and run. This is Seattle. Seattle's a different animal, But, I mean, if you're in a smaller community and you are, more respected and, even not so much, but you can legally open carry, legally have the firearm, yeah, I would recommend it. The more people in small towns that open carry, the less likely you're going to have violence from people who are gang affiliated, Like, I've been to one of the local stores here. I'm not going to say which, and I've seen 3, 4, 5 people all open carrying. The last thing you're going to do is go into this facility and try to rob it and do stupid stuff when there's so many people carrying open firearms. Okay? You're just like looking to get trashed. Now, you notice most of these criminals, they target young people, women, and old people. They don't really target, and of course, spineless men. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them in America now. But other than that, generally, if someone knows that you constantly have firearms available on you, they're less likely to come up in your face and do stuff. Like, for example, if I leave my house and I have my firearm, I'm open carrying, and some people walk by and they see I have my firearm on me, and then they later on they see me again and I have my firearm on me, right? They are going to remember that I always carry a firearm. They know I have a firearm on me. Okay. Now, everyone wants to say, oh, you should conceal carry. Sometimes it's okay to conceal carry. But I just don't really like it. Because in summer, it's hard to cover it because um, you have these really bulky, cumbersome conceal holsters, right? And they just suck. They just fucking suck. Unless you want to wear a jacket in summer. You're better off just open carrying most of the time. Winter, don't get me wrong, I use my conceal permit. But in summer, in the spring, I don't want to use that. It's just too much bullshit. It's too hot. I'm going to sweat my ass off for no reason. But it's nice having the option of open carry or concealed carry. Okay? But it's just... if you feel that you are confident with a weapon, you feel you are familiar with that weapon, and you feel that you can do well by that weapon, and you practice with it a little bit, there's no reason why you shouldn't open carry. Like I said, there's all kinds of people out there that are totally, completely against open carry. It's almost like they're ashamed to be a gun owner. They're ashamed to be open, that they have the ability to defend himself and others if needed. I don't know why these people are ashamed to show their firearm, but it's almost like they're afraid that someone is going to confront them and cause problems for them. Like, give you an example. I was in a restaurant and I had my revolver on me. It's 22 mag. It does the job. It's not fancy, right? And this lady's like, "Why do you have a gun?" She was pretty nasty too. And I said, "Because I can." And she was like, "Well, what if someone took it?" I said, "They're probably going to get clubbed. And second off, they're not going to get that close because I'm going to be most likely be able to read them that they are trouble." And she kept going on and on and on. And then finally her son got her to shut her mouth. Because I was like, not listening. Another time I was at a Denny's. And I'm in there and I have my revolver on me. And then I see the cops walk in, walk by, look at my revolver, go to the bathroom, come back out, and walk back out. I knew someone had called the police on me because they didn't understand that in Washington State you can legally open carry, constitutional carry, And so you have to be prepared for these situations. You can't panic. Now, you also have to think about, if you open carry, the fact that concealed carry or open carry, you still have to be prepared to deal with officers if you are pulled over or whatever like that. It doesn't mean cocky. That doesn't mean start quoting this. That doesn't mean no, don't roll your window down. That means just put your hands on the steering wheel, roll your window down, and put your hands on the steering wheel. Turn your phone on and put it in your pocket just in case. Right? Don't say it's on. Right? And then say, "Officer, I have a firearm. My hands are on the steering wheel. I have a concealed permit, blah, 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 or I'm open carrying." And then you specify the type of firearm, right? And the officer may be cool and like, "All right, let me see your ID," and all the other stuff like that. And he may let another officer maybe like draw his firearm on you, which is kind of fucked up. Because the fact of the matter is, in the future, the police will be depending on the public for support when stuff gets bad. And then you're just making it where the people will not support the police department when you treat them like shit. So you have some like that, but majority of cops like that when they come to small towns, they don't really last that long. But you have to be prepared for these situations mentally. You cannot panic. You cannot freak out. You have to be very professional. You have to be objective. You have to be straightforward, and you have to be honest, and you can't bullshit them. If you like, "Well, I have a firearm, but I just didn't want to tell you," that's a good way to get shot. But that's a whole different story. But the point is, I'm going to get derailed on my video here, is open carrying is a great thing. If more and more people open carried, there would be less crime. Okay? Point blank. And then you can say, well, more guns, more deaths. No, it's not true. That is not true. It's the fact that multiple people carrying open firearms what reduces people walking in with guns and shooting people up. It reduces the possibility of gang violence when everyone is armed. Because I guarantee these gang members that have a record, they legally can't have a firearm. So if someone who's a felon has a firearm and they try to rob you or rob someone else and you pull your firearm and defend yourself or defend them, another person, against a person with a firearm, and it comes out the person was a felon, right? That were not authorized or allowed to have a firearm. They're already breaking the law, right? But of course, I'm going to sound mean, but of course the mother and the family would be like, they were a good boy. They didn't mean it. And, oh yeah, when they pulled a gun and they pointed at the old lady and they said, give me the money, they meant it. When you pull a firearm out and you aim it at someone and you give them a direction or order, they mean business. There's no good boy involved in it. But, yeah, so more people need to open carry. And if you're an anti-open carry guy, I don't know why you're insecure about it. I don't know why you don't want to educate the public on this stuff. Because for me, it's the opportunity to educate and teach the public what they can do. I'm not saying I'm a lawyer, but I'm just saying that it's an opportunity. And when a 60-year-old lady thanks me for open carrying, it makes my day. Or someone says, hey, I'm glad you're shopping at this store or doing whatever. I'm glad you're open carrying because it discourages people from theft. Yeah, it's a nice compliment. So if you live in a small town and you have and you don't have a record and you can get your firearm legally and you're following all the state and local laws for the type of firearm, I'm not going to go into that, but and you're following the local laws with that firearm, then there's no reason why you should not open carry. Okay? But you gotta understand, you have to open carry. You can't like half carry open and half carry closed. It's either open or it's closed. That's it. There's no in between. So don't get that middle attitude confused, because that's where the problem can really happen, because then it makes it more open for law enforcement to possibly charge you with something. So if you're open carrying and you put your jacket on and it covers up your pistol 3/4 of the way, all of a sudden, you don't have a concealed permit, all of a sudden you could get charged with something. I'm not saying you will, but you could. So in small town America, you need to carry a open firearm. Alright? So I'm going to end the video, and I'm not a lawyer, but if you're worried, contact one of the local gun rights groups in your state, and contact them and ask them some questions, and they could probably hook you up with all the knowledge you need. So I'm going to end the video, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a good day.